Hey guys, it is September 7th, 2023, a little after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the channel might be in a precarious safe position, and I'm going to explain why. And the reason why I titled that video from yesterday, the channel will be down today or tomorrow. So this is the inside of my studio, and you guys know I love to move things around and interact. So look, yesterday when Julia hit me with the first group of 3, it says sometimes a single strike can include multiple videos. So the first 3 did 1 strike. And, you know, it used to be back in the day, you hit people with 3 takedowns, it would produce 3 strikes and your channel comes down. So that was reckless, and they at least improved a little bit. So 3 takedowns, which immediately get granted because you're using somebody else's copyrighted material, and it produces 1 strike. So that's 1 strike on the channel. And so I figured, okay, I got some time to work with this. And then, this was a surprise. So those are the first 3, right? This is all what Julia did yesterday. And then there was another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up here it says, strike contains 5 videos. And that is where I was yesterday, because I was starting to counterclaim, and I was also making a video explaining what was going on. And in the middle of that, I had to be ready for anything new. And once she did the second one, and it had 2 more videos, you know, I also had to start making things private. And that's a process too. So this is all like an ambush by her. And of course, she knows, because she's been in the business for more than 10 years. You can't do this. You know, and like it's rich, because Julia is a name that she stole from the movie The Wedding Singer. And the Mr. Pig character that she uses is a character that was created by the Joey Corporation. They got a whole line of cute animals. I can't remember them all right now. Anyway, so she's a total hack, and she's got a small channel now. So, you know, so I'm interacting with this and moving it around. So, I got a story to tell. Okay. So, yeah, and it says 2 copyright strikes at the top. So that's what the channel is suffering right now. So yesterday, my channel had 2 copyright strikes in 1 day, which that's new to me. I didn't know you could get 2 strikes in 1 day. And so that's when I made that video saying, look, the channel's going to be gone today or tomorrow. Because if Julia had anything else in the pipeline on the way, then that would have produced 1 more strike, and then I wouldn't be able to talk to you. So that's why I said what I said yesterday, and it was a valid thing to say. And like, unlike people who are not honest, when things change, I give you guys an update. So this is what it's like today, September 7th. You notice like where it says rejected, 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 forwarded, rejected, rejected, rejected? Yeah, that's me over and over resubmitting, okay? Trying to get the process started. And I'm sending the same rationale for every video. And this is the one that gives us some hope here. The one that says forwarded, alright? That video, that's the one, Julia and her mom. By the way, somebody told me that somebody made a comment about KDRC on her channel, and she replied and said that I was... Now, I don't know if she actually did this, alright? This is what somebody told me, so maybe she did or didn't. Yeah, I can't find it. However, that's what somebody told me, that she said I was bashing her friends and family. I didn't bash her friends and family. I criticized her weak material. And this is the one that's been forwarded, that her and her mom, and like her mother looked bored for the whole thing. And it was weak. And like her grandfather was saying, if you think pickles and Oreos are good, you're crazy. So she totally told him to say that. It was just ridiculous. So, you know, if you publish something, I mean, others are allowed to criticize it. That's just freedom of speech in the United States of America and in Canada. And, you know, have you ever heard of a record review? Yeah, we're allowed to criticize. And, like, that's like a moot point. We all know that reaction channels are allowed on YouTube. So, I have been forwarding the same rationale, right, to all of these fake takedown requests. And only 1 has been forwarded. Now, these bots are replying to me like a couple hours later, and in some cases they're replying to me within a minute. And they all give the same reply, which is, thanks for forwarding your counterclaim. Unfortunately, it's not clear what your reason is. It's fair use. That's it. That's the end of it. And I'm going to give you the rationale. So 1, 2, 3 rejected, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejected, 1 is forwarded. And I'm using the same rationale for all of them. Do you want to know what the rationale is? Well, hold on to your hats. It's coming. This is what I forwarded to all of them. And if you're on a device, I'll read it, because the screen is smaller on a device. So, quote, "This video is taken down in error. It is a transformed reaction production, which is popular on YouTube and protected by the fair use doctrine of the United States." Quote, "Additionally, transformative uses are more likely to be considered fair. Transformative uses are those that add something new with a further purpose or different character and do not substitute for the original use of the work." And there's a link. Wait, well, let me just talk about that. The thing is, I don't substitute for what she's doing. Julia still gets to make money on her small channel with her 15Ks per, appealing to her audience. Me doing a reaction here doesn't take away from that. I do not upload her material wholesale and say, hey, it's a Julia food review, and then you come over here and you get money. Sorry, and I'm doing this one take. When I do the screen grab movies, it's one take, so the little mistakes are staying in. I'm not going to make money simply reposting her work. It's just like the same argument for the latest Spider-Man movie. You just can't take the Spider-Man movie and run it and make money, because you're directing people away from the people who invested to make their money. So if I do a reaction, it's not for Julia fans. If you like what she does, you're not going to be swayed. So I'm not substituting for the original work. I mean, these are all moot points because we all know them, and she knows it too. So that's what I submit. And the link that I put here, yeah, that's a pretty heavy link. I'll get it for you. Hold on. Yeah, that's the link. It's the United States Government Copyright Office. You can't get any more serious than that. So I'm telling them that it's fair use, and it's protected by the fair use doctrine of the United States of America. And I'm getting bots telling me it's not clear what your reason is. I mean, what can you do? There's nobody to talk to. When you're a small channel, you can't just phone YouTube and have a chat. On one hand, I can appreciate that because there's so many people with channels. YouTube doesn't have the staff. On the other hand, I would pay them. Here's $100. Let me talk to somebody for 20 minutes. And so that rationale was accepted. It's been forwarded. This one thing here is protecting the channel. Because, I've since privated everything. And it's now like, well past 1 p.m. on September 7th, 2023. So there's nothing more in the pipeline coming. Even if there was one more coming from Julia for a third strike, this would bring the channel back. This is the same thing that brought my channel back when Ken took it down years ago. Like, he took it down. It was gone. He hit me with the 3 strikes. I was in the middle of counterclaiming, and he took it down with 3 strikes. The channel was gone. So that's, after having been through that experience, that's why I posted yesterday the channel's going to be gone today or tomorrow. Because I very much expected that Julia had more in the pipeline. And so one more would have taken down the whole channel. So, yeah, so let me get over here. I got something waiting. These 2 punks are the same. Ken did it years ago. With submitting these false... And Ken was in the business for like well over 10 years at that point too. He knows what he's doing is wrong. And so I had to give Ken my real name and address, which is an abuse of the whole system. Like, we're living in an age where privacy is a big deal, and jokers can just, abuse this system and force you to give them the real name and address. And, Julia, I could care less. She doesn't have any time to share my address with other people and my real name. She doesn't care either. The thing is, I still had to give this stranger my real name and address based upon fake takedown requests. And guess what? She's now been forwarded my reasons, which is, hey, it's the law of the United States of America. You can't do this. And, she goes on private property and shoots footage without permission of the private property owners. She shoots footage of people, just like Ken does. If somebody's not a dick, I really don't care too much. If you're going to be a dick and treat people like this and abuse the whole system, then yeah, I'm throwing the book at her. She's on private property without permission, producing content for profit, shooting people in the background, not blurring them either. And she doesn't cut the store owners or the franchisors in for a cut of the profits. And then with her fake name of Julia Gulia from The Wedding Singer, and with her logo, the Joey Corporation pig spatula, she, while making money using someone else's trademarks to make thumbnails, screams at me, copyright! Like, what a thing to do. Like, they're the same. So Ken totally took the channel down. And that one forwarded thing, switched it back on, and then I completed the process. And every video that Ken struck was reinstated. And did anything happen to him? No. He did it one time, I put him on notice, and he's never going to do it again. So same thing is going to be with her. Like, when she has been forwarded that thing, she's got 10 American business days to reply. And it's going to be like 2 weeks, right? Because banks go on holidays and different countries have different holidays. So it's going to be about 2 weeks. She doesn't have a lawsuit waiting. She could care less. I don't cost her money. She's just so much of a CB and so much of a poor sport who cannot take a joke. And if you want to talk about, everything, people don't talk about it anymore, right? Male dominated this, male dominated that. Julia can't hang with the big boys because she can't take an effing joke, right? So, little prima donna, little princess. Here's the other princess here. And, as the saying goes, I'm keeping this one Disney because I want to say, like, it doesn't have any swears. So, F them if they can't take a joke. So, that one thing that's been forwarded to her, she doesn't have a lawsuit waiting. She's got no monetary losses. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is that this is going to take a lot of time. Each one of these red messages means about 2 weeks to get rid of them, right? And that's with having to fight to get the bots to randomly accept the rationale. It's the same rationale. It's like, hey buddy, fair use, the United States of America copyright law. Oh yeah, we'll forward it to Julia. She won't have a lawsuit and we'll put your video back in. All these others, the other 7, are being rejected with the same reasons. They just randomly take it. You just got to keep resubmitting it, and then eventually they take it. I don't know why it's set up like that, and I'm paying for YouTube Premium, so, business is business, with me being a customer, and I'm creating content that doesn't impact upon, fans of Julia and Ken. The people that are into Ken, he publishes garbage, and they comment, great stuff, Ken, amazing, enjoy the food. Those people will be there. They either walk away from these clowns or they stay. So I'm not impacting upon their income. And each one of these is going to take around 2 weeks to set aside. Plus the time it's going to take to finally take a random bot to pick this up. I mean, this is it, Fair use, the United States of America copyright law. Yeah, we'll forward it to Julia. She doesn't have a lawsuit ready. We'll put your video back. And the same reason has been forwarded for all these others, and it's being rejected. There's nobody to talk to. It's just bots. They reply and say, we don't understand what your reason is within a few hours, or they reply within like 1 minute. No one's reading it. And so, when dirtbags such as these do this to you, they're taking the fun out of it for everybody else, including people such as myself who pay money to be YouTube Premium members. They're also messing with your freedom of choice to consume whatever media you want. They're stepping in and saying to you that you cannot consume these parodies and reactions because they've decided that you can't have them. That's what these two pricks are about, these two princesses. That they're going to decide for you what you can and cannot have by abusing this tool, which is meant to protect parties such as the producers of the latest Spider-Man movie from losing millions of dollars. That's why it works so fast. And then, you know, and the producers of the latest Spider-Man movie will sue the daylights out of anybody they can get their hands on. They're not going to screw around. Ken and Julia are screwing around. So it's going to be a long time before I can do any more Julia reactions. So she is screwing around with what we like to do here, and it's really unfair. And so it's just going to take time. So even though I like doing them, I have to leave them alone for a while. And we'll just go back to Ken. And yeah, so I guess that's it. And so even though I'm putting it at the tail end of this video, Julia, you know, it's one of two things. When she got the preview where she said, once you go black, that's when these things happened. Yet the day before, I published my question about Ken, is he buying subscribers and likes? And I had the evidence of that old video of his with 10,000 likes and 8,000 views. So I don't know if they work together or if Julia lost her mind when I ran the footage of her saying, once you go black. Now, Ken can't do anything to me because I've already put him on notice in writing, and he's already taken down the channel once in a fraudulent way. And he's right in my area. You know, if he damages the channel again, I have the right to sit on a public street in a car with a camera on public property and record a process server serving him while he does a live stream. And I know Ken doesn't want that, so there's no way Ken can hit the channel. As long as I don't make any, you know, big statements about him that he could sue me for. So that's why I'm always careful, right? So we know that Julia hates this, and this is Ken footage. So Julia, we know you're watching this. And this is for you, princess.
Good morning, Domik Nation, and Just For You crew. We are here at Healthy Junk Food Central. And this is what morning looks like for the Healthy Junk Food peoples. And
always working.
They start off with the coffees, and if you ever come here for breakfast, they don't have milk, they don't have creamers, so bring your own.
We're like 60-year-olds. We like our coffee black.
Yes. Black coffee.
I want black coffee and a cigarette.
Once you go black. 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 Once you go black.